for me, it was easy for me to get into it because my grandmother was on dialysis. And I used to go to her treatments with her sometimes. Yeah. So it was almost like the family rotated with going through treatments with her. So when I saw a TV commercial for a dialysis training school, 10 months of dialysis training.
Oh my goodness, I've never heard. That was something I'd never heard of ever.
5 months of theory and then 5 months of on-the-job training. And that's how I got into it.
So with that, of course, you were in Philadelphia at that point in time in your life. We didn't have that in North Carolina. Okay. That was something that was totally unfamiliar to us. So how was that going to a actual course and learning dialysis? That was something that I had to do.
I mean,
training.
The good thing about it was that you learned theory, right? So you went to school, you sat in class, and you learned about how dialysis started, right? Yes. Who made the first dialysis machine? You learn everything about the machine, everything about the kidney. So when you go into the on-the-job training part, you have an idea of something, right? You're not just going in there blind and like, oh my God, I don't know what this is. You have an idea what it is already, just from the theory part. Almost like nursing school. You sit in class for 2 days, then you go to your clinicals, right? So in class, it's just preparing you for your clinicals. And that's what that was. 5 months of theory and then the on-the-job training part.
Yeah. So you had an idea of what you were kind of getting into at some point.
Yeah, but the school I went to shut down, and Sally Mae, I need you to leave me alone. Leave me alone. The school don't even exist.
So the school shut down and you still owe money to them? Listen, that's what you saying.
I finished this training in 1999. I still owe these the story I got was that the man who owned the schools, him and his wife separated. The schools was in Jersey and Philadelphia. The wife took half of the schools, he took half of the schools, changed the name. Now the school does not even exist.
Was it legit?
It was legit.
Okay.
I got a certificate and everything, like a diploma and everything.
Okay. All right. But that's.
but listen, what is 20 plus years later?
And you still they ain't sent you collection.
They ain't sent me the collection.
This is very sad. This is a very sad thing. This is something we can talk about.
But do people
today? But
listen,
it's
the
awful.
school. I was under the impression that the school go out of business, shut down. You don't owe money. So you know.
How much you owe the folks?
It's probably like $10,000 now.
This is sad. This is horrible.
But it was a ripoff because
we learned that for free.
So when I got to the job site, the manager was like, "Oh, if you would apply for a job, we would have hired you
and trained you
trained you for nothing."
Right? Yeah.
So here it is, taking out a $10,000 student loan.
Oh my goodness!
It was actually $8,000. An $8,000 student loan to go to the school.
So people don't do this.
No,
do not do this.
But the thing of it is, you have now community colleges training people for dialysis.
But dialysis, you get on the job training.
Just apply for the job,
and they will train.
They're all over Indeed and everywhere else,
yes.
And they will train. Do not waste your money going to no dialysis training.
Please don't. I'm so glad that they have that in North Carolina. I don't know what kind of mess they got going on in Philly, but I'm so glad they don't have it in North Carolina. Maybe they do. I don't know about it.
But the school. But the thing of it is, it wasn't only dialysis. They had medical assistants in this school. They had phlebotomy in this school. They had surgical technician courses in this school. So it wasn't. I don't think it was a ripoff because everybody that I know that attended that school when I went there, regardless of what program they were taking, they got jobs.
It's a ripoff. I hate to say it. It is.
But I think.
But you learn something.
But I think if you to be a surgical technician, I don't know. Let me not speak out of my scope of practice.
Well, I'm gonna speak on it, but I know for a fact that I got my on-the-job training, and it was
from the newspaper.
And it was free, and I don't have no loans, nothing from that. So I don't know what's going on over there in Philadelphia, but I don't have no loans to learn this job for free. Mm-hmm. But you did learn a skill, and I think that's a big thing that we need to do. Start getting back to in America, learning.
It was like a trade.
Yes.
You learned a trade that you could go for the rest of your life.
Okay, but did you still have to go through training once you got to your new job as a technician?
What do you mean?
So, like, once you had your training at this school, when you got hired at the company for dialysis, did they still make you go through?
No, because the company that I was training at hired me while I was in my training. Mm-hmm. So I think I did like 2.5 months of the training, and then I was so great at what I was doing. They was like, "Hey, let's hire you."
So which part of the clinic taught you to be a bully? Which part of that lesson was? What was that?
It was learned because when I got into dialysis, all of the technicians, and I hate to say this because it's going to sound very biased, was old black women.
Oh
no, seriously.
Okay, all right.
And they were mean. They were mean to everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Even precepting you, they were mean.
Yeah.
They were terrible. Very, 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 very terrible.
Yeah.
And I think once I finished my training, I got on my own, and I worked very hard to be, although I was new, to be the best.
Yeah.
And then once I realized, hey, I can do this job, I started treating them the way they treated me.
Yeah.
And then it just carried on, and it just went everywhere I went.
Yeah. That is something that I really would like to start talking about in dialysis. There is this huge culture of whether it's tough love, bully.
It's bullying.
What is it?
It's bullying.
Because I have been to clinics where you've got to be on point. Get your stuff done. Mm-hmm. You have to be on point.
Yeah.
And I've been in places where they would literally, if you were not on point, they would literally run you out. You've got to go because you are a weak link. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, this is oh my.
But God. that's going to be a whole
something else.
Yeah,
a whole something else. But yes, dialysis world. That is something that we would like to discuss. At some point, we would like to have your input on these situations because we need to find out. Hey. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Are we kicking you out?
What is the root?
What is that
of all of this?
What is the
root?
Yes.
Why?
Oh my goodness! Because it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
But my thing is, I want to have everybody I work with be strong.
Right.
Know what to do.
But like you said, it's everywhere. So how is it that if you have people who have never crossed paths in this field of work, but the mentality, no matter what city you go to, the mentality at these facilities is always the same. Always the same.
It is always the same, but the job itself is busy.
Right.
You've got to do it.
Right.
Get it done. Go home. We don't have time for people being slow, not knowing what they're doing, and oh my goodness. Let's go somewhere else, and we'll touch that later on. But
what would you like listeners to take away from every episode?
I want listeners to understand that for patients, this is not the end. You may have ended up on dialysis, you may have kidney failure, but your life is not over. Mm-hmm. It's not over. I know for a fact that me and you have worked in different clinics, and we have always seen those patients that come to the clinic and they're sad, they're depressed, they're crying, they don't know how they got there, they don't know what they're doing. It's a whole new world for them. Mm-hmm. And I always found it to be relieving when I see those patients after a couple of weeks learn to cope with this new life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, seeing them smile, seeing them happy, seeing them not cry for the first 30 minutes on dialysis. I want people to know this is not the end. It's not the end. It's a new way of living, but it's not over. Learning your resources. What resources do I have? How can I go see my nephews, my nieces, my cousins? You know, still be involved in life. Mm-hmm. I don't have to give everything up for this. That's what I want people to gain from the podcast. Patient-wise, for staff, for people on dialysis, I don't want them to give up. It is a hard situation, and you're dealing with difficult things and different patients and things like that. But you know, it's not over. Mm-hmm. You know, we're all there for the same thing, and we don't have to give up. You know, it's still life to live. Right. That's what I want people to know. Okay. How about yourself? What do you think?
So for me, I want listeners to take this as a learning experience.
Yes.
Right? I want patients, especially patients, to listen to this and say, hey, they're giving me ways that I can better take care of myself.
Right, yes.
Because we see it all the time where patients feel like, hey, I am thriving, my life is going well, I can shorten my dialysis treatments, I can miss my dialysis treatments, yes. I can eat this, and they're walking around feeling fine, not realizing that internally your body is tearing you up right now. Yes. And when that breakdown finally happens, it's going to happen. So I want people to listen to what we're saying, get a better understanding of the body and how the body works with kidney failure, diabetes, and hypertension.
Yes.
And figure out, hey, let me better take care of myself.
Yeah.
Especially people who have hypertension, right? People with hypertension still using Lowry seasoned salt. And all of these other things. And then you have a lot of people that walk around and say, oh, I have a migraine. Oh, I'm going to just take some Tylenol.
And it's your blood pressure the whole time.
The whole time. And before you know it, they done either had kidney failure, or stroke, heart attack. They done had something because they're not realizing that, hey, I need to go to the doctor for this. I can just take Tylenol. Yes. So for me, it's education. I really want people to be well-informed and just walk away saying, hey, I learned something new today. I'm going to try and do it. That's speaking of.
I think that education is huge. Yes. You can never get enough education. Never get enough. And especially for certain communities, people think, oh, I just did that. My grandmama had this, grandma had that, grandma had that. Well, back then, grandma didn't have doctors that she could trust, or she can talk to, that she can collaborate with to get things a certain way. So my thing is, now we have those things. You are on, what do you call it when you, on your phone? What do you call it when you talk to your doctors? It's something you do. My chart. Yeah, my chart. My chart is awesome.
Right.
You can send your doctors a message. My blood pressure is 160, 180, whatever it is. Send them a message. It's not working. My BP meds don't work.
Right.
You have so many things at your disposal that you can call your doctor and say, hey, look, I don't have to show up today.
Right.
I have to show up tomorrow. I can send you a message and you can tell me what I need to do. But use those tools. My chart. You got family. A lot of us have families who are nurses. You have a lot of nurses in your family, cousins and nieces, and so there are all these people that are there that you can use for a resource. Right. You don't have to just die.
And also, like, I don't want people to feel like, hey, they're saying I'm not educated. People have to realize that, yes, you can be very educated, but you're not medically educated. Right. There's a difference between being educated and then being medically educated, right? So I want people to become medically educated.
Yes.
Listen to us. Hey, like you just said, go to your doctor. Now you know how to ask the right questions.
Yes.
Right? Now you know what to do when you go to the doctor.
Yeah. What questions to ask? My blood pressure is this. My heart rate is this. I think that we have got to a point where sometimes we say, well, my uncle had this. This is what my grandmother had. This is what, and we become comfortable with those things instead of saying, hey, look, she had those issues. How can
I take care of myself?
How can I take care of myself?
Right.
You know, like we said earlier, there's people on dialysis, a whole family on dialysis.
Like my dad's side of the family, my grandmother, all of her siblings had diabetes, right? One of her sisters, all of their kids have diabetes.
Yeah.
When I got into this field of work, my biggest thing to myself was, hey, you're not going to get diabetes.
Right.
So you're going to do everything you can do for yourself to prevent yourself from getting diabetes.
Yeah. And dialysis.
That has been, for the last 20 plus years, not my biggest fight, but something that I always fight with, because hey, I'm not going to allow that to affect me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow that to get me. So, you know, there are times when I eat things I shouldn't be eating, but for the most part, I try to watch what I eat.
Yeah. And it is difficult. It is very difficult. Sometimes when I talk to my patients and I want to ask them, how was your weekend? They say, well, I ate this, I did this, I ate this, and you know, it's hard. It's difficult because you have to watch everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not over. You know, your life is still what it is. You still make it work for you. But like you said, when you have that family history like your grandmother has, you have to watch everything that you do. Blood pressure, you know, blood glucose checks, all these things. You have to watch those things and, you know, keep yourself out of harm's way.
There you go.
You know, so, you know, it's one of those things, especially for our community, we really have to watch those things. There are times when we have been to Walmart and I will go check my blood pressure at Walmart. And I'm like, oh my God, my blood pressure is 158. That's awful. No idea. That's what it looks like. But again, that's back to resources you can use, you know, but sometimes we don't know blood pressure is that high. Blood sugar, you know, so we've got to make sure we take care of those things, you know, we have the opportunity to take care of them. So,
and as far as like blood pressure, people don't know that blood pressure high. You have people walking around swollen ankles, right? And they'll say, "Oh, my ankles are swollen because I was walking around all day."
Yeah.
No. That's not why your ankles are swollen.
Not. Yeah.
You know, you got your socks. Your sock imprint is in your leg, right? That is not from walking around. There's something underlying going on.
Yeah.
Right. Go to your doctor.
Exactly. And a few years ago, we did a health fair in Orange County, and my God, people were afraid to have their blood pressure checked. It was crazy.
Yep.
180 over 110.
And they just walking around.
Walking around like it was not a problem.
That's normal.
Oh my goodness.
Not normal.
It was not normal. And honestly to God, it was heartbreaking to see people say this is what they walk around with and that's their norm. And to just run away from it. You know, hey, that's what it is. You know, it's okay. And we thinking, call 911. Blood pressure is 180. About to stroke out. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is not a problem for you. You know, it's very, very crazy. And I really, that's one of the things I hope that we can get across with the podcast is say, pay attention. Pay attention. Because like they say, blood pressure is a silent killer. You know, even myself, I take blood pressure medication. And I know what it feels like when my blood pressure is high. I feel I can always feel this build up in my body. I can tell when it's high. And, you know, so we got to take care of ourselves. We want to be a help for other people.
Yes.
You know, I feel like that's one of the big things we want to do for the show is, hey, be more cognizant of your health.
There you go.
You know, we want to get people off this track.
Yeah.
If we can help them. So, but yeah, kind of back to dialysis. We kind of got off track a little bit, but dialysis is so broad. It is so big, and it's so much of so many things. You know, anything could tie to it. Anything. You know, I work at the hospital, and I'm in the acute unit, and everybody that I know that comes through there has high blood pressure, diabetes, cardiac issues. I mean, thyroid problems, everything you can think of. That's how broad dialysis is.
Yep.
And, you know, you can never touch on enough.
No.
You can never give people enough education for dialysis.
And see, he works in the dialysis unit, and I work on the renal floor.
Yeah.
So we see the same patients.
Yeah, we have the same people.
And a lot of times, I see patients that is in stage 4 kidney failure, right? Their next step is to go to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I get to see them, I educate them, and try to figure out, hey, what can you do to slow this process down? Probably ain't gonna prevent the kidneys from failing, but hey, what can you do to slow this down? But I think we going a little.
But a lot of times, some of the people, when I'm at the hospital, I don't see the people that you see.
No.
You might see the people that are stage 3, stage 4. I have no idea what
Who
the
they
doctors
are,
are consulting with. No idea.
Yep.
But the doctors are very busy seeing those
people, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't see them till they're at that stage of dialysis.
Right.
They're just starting. You know, so it's very big, and I think we see people at different stages of the progression of kidney dialysis, and you know, so it's one of those things we really gotta educate as much as possible, because we don't know what people are going through, where they are. You know, do they need dialysis? I have seen patients who've had fistulas and graft placed
before the kidneys even actually shut down.
Yeah, they've had those accesses placed a year and a half before.
Just preparing them. Because the doctor knows it's going to happen.
It's going to happen at some point. And sometimes they might say you're at stage 4, but hey, we're not going to dialysis just yet.
Right.
You know, so you see those patients at a different point.
And that's the thing. That's another thing. Education, right? Because if you're at stage 4, there's possibly some things you can do to slow that progression down before you get to stage 5.
You're
right? But we'll talk about all that stuff later on down the line.
Yeah. And stay in good contact with your physician and the pharmacist. Hey, look, find out what you can do. Medication. What can I eat? How do I need to prepare myself to kind of step away from that, if you can, if possible? Because everybody that has stage 3 and stage 4 doesn't always end up with dialysis.
No, not at all.
You know, so you do have resources that you can talk to your doctors and say, hey, look, what can I do?
Last question. If someone listening today feels stuck in life, career, or business, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
Step out. Step out. No matter what your life is like, no matter what it feels like, no matter what you're going through, dialysis, no dialysis, you're a technician, you're a staff, step out.
Okay.
You know, don't be afraid. A lot of us sometimes are scared. We feel like we're going to fail. It's not going to work. Step out. You know, what's the harm? What are you going to lose? Just step out. That's one thing I have learned, is that sometimes you're scared. I'm scared every day. Trying to figure out what we're going to do. What's going to happen? What's next? It's always a challenge. But you put one foot in front of the other and keep moving. Keep moving. You know, we've seen a lot of challenges. You know, of course, we've opened Express Care Transport. We do the transport for dialysis patients and different patients. And we've seen a lot of challenges over the past 3 years with the business. But we keep going. It's a challenge. You know, so I always say, keep pushing. What do you think? What is one of the things you would say?
One of the things I would say is, you know, if you're struggling, ask yourself, what is your purpose? Right. What is your purpose? Everybody has a purpose. Figure out what your purpose is and grow from that. Right? I always felt like my purpose was helping people. So any job that I've had was helping people. Dialysis technician, becoming a nurse, starting a transportation company. I'm helping people. Right? So this podcast, I'm helping people. So that will be my word of advice. Find your purpose and build off of your purpose. If you like the video just watched, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to all of our social handles: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and X at Built by Scrubs Podcast. See you next time.